Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As usual, we're going to keep it short and sweet, and we're going to look at the stocks that you can watch list next week. Okay, so let's start off with iFast. Okay, so iFast has been consolidating over at this range, and we are looking at an attempt to break up from this resistance at 897, but it failed to do so. So it started to consolidate again after the attempt failed. So what we are looking forward is that if this counter continue to consolidate, breakout above 897 and eventually clearing 908 would help the counter to move back into uptrend. So this counter has a lot of mixed news recently, as we can see there were a sell down over here at this part of the chart because of the result. Some analysts start to questions the ability to grow, but what we are looking for is that if this counter can recover and continue on its upward trend trajectory, we are looking at 908 resistance to break first. Okay, last week we talked about ISDN, the double bottom, and we had a projected target around 745 or 74. And what we have seen is that ISDN has already broken out and start to fill up this gap, where we are looking at some struggle at this gap. So next week, we are going to focus on whether the counter can continue to move up. If the counters can continue to move up, it should be able to fill up the gap at 80 cents. Else, we may see some weakness start to appear. And what kind of weakness that we're looking at is that these kind of patterns were to repeat again over at this part of the chart, then you got to watch out. So the immediate support that it may drop to could be around this range, and we are looking at 695, which was the previous resistance, to turn as a support. And with the market focusing on the tech last week, most of the counters like AEM has also rallied strongly and also start to form a bearish sign, like for example this bearish candle pattern, which is the what we call the bearish harami. And what we are looking at is this level 496 to 486 range. So if this counter were to cover up and then breaks below 486, what we could be seeing is a potential more downward movement. So close eyes on how AEM would move. The next few candles is very important. Of course, if it can break above 509, we are looking at more potential upside, which some analysts target 560. So we're going to play by ear. UMS, similar, we have a bearish harami pattern come a shooting star. This harami pattern has a shooting star in it, and then we are looking at a more confirmation going forward, where this counter, which is trading at all-time high right now, looking at which kind of movement, conquering 157, which my personal target was 159, 16160, which was very near, could easily see the counter hitting 160. But if it could not do so, probably we may see some downward action back to where it started off. Okay, over here, the previous resistance and support is 141 range. So let's see whether it can hold and then go beyond and above. All right, next we are looking at the counter that is trading at support levels like sets. It hasn't given a confirmation for this hammer as yet, but if once it had given, there might be a chance for it to move up. Its support level at 407. What we are looking forward is that you can see that this counter has been holding at this support level, this downtrend support, very well. And of course, the upper channel will be around this range. So the rebound should bring this counter, if it happens, to 420 range or 419 range. And if we can break out above, of course, we can see more upward movement towards 432. SIA is also in a downward movement and we are looking at a channel of of such where this counter has this ability to move up if it can have a solid white candle above 540 to 544 range. If not, if follow the channel down, the counter may be moving back to 523 range. So what you want to look at next week is how the candle will form up. All right. So these are the counter that we are looking at in the Singapore market. Now, last week I covered Meta, and I have drawn this inverse head and shoulder formation. Well, in the US now, the hype is Metaverse, where a lot of people are talking about the possibility in Metaverse, which is a virtual world. So what we are looking at is that Meta or Facebook was trying to break out over here, as I've drawn last week, and this week they have actually tried an attempt to break out, but unfortunately, it hasn't been successful. So next week, if it can cross above this time round at 353 and above, then the projected target is around 384. So we will be keeping a close eye on this Meta platform or Facebook. Now, Nvidia, last week we covered that Nvidia is waiting for its result, and the result was fantastic. So it managed to break out from its resistance, and it traded higher. So where would be the next potential level that is going to trade to if it continues its bullishness? Now, Nvidia is one of the part of the metaverse play. So you might want to take note of this, and then this counter may continue higher to 358 if the market continue to look at the metaverse economy. So what we are looking at is that there are a lot of metaverse related counter has already moved up, like Roblox and then Unity Software. Now some of the related ones, like there are few, right? So like Nvidia has just broken out from its resistance, and then we have AMD, which was a chosen partner by Meta, Facebook, to provide them the hardware, also trying to break out from its resistance, but it hasn't break out from that resistance as yet. This 155 resistance still hold. Okay, so these are the counters that you should watch list, and then wait for patiently for opportunities to get into this counter, which I will be covering in this video regularly. Okay, so whenever there's some opportunity arises, like last week we had ISDN, and then we had Meta platform, and also I mentioned about Tesla, which I'm going to go through later on, had a fantastic opportunity. So going forward, we're going to do that regularly. So we are looking at AMD. If it can break up consistently higher, we are looking at 172 resistance, our target next. Okay, so next we have Tesla. So Tesla, I mentioned that the counter may form a base last week, may form a base at about $900 plus range. I did not specifically state which are the level, but of course I've plotted some support like 984 support, and then 940 and 912. So these are the range that Tesla might find, especially where it's facing selling pressure from Elon Musk. But the market seems to have overcome this, and then has revised its so-called direction, or change its direction, where it had moved up and break up from this resistance 1,105. And we are looking at Tesla moving back towards its 1,243 resistance. So if it can continue to be bullish, it will have a chance to hit this level. Now, Tesla has also involved in this metaverse rhyme, and then we are looking at probably next time people buying car through this virtual world. Then we have Nike as well. Nike is also preparing for metaverse economy, where they are looking at selling their Nike hood, Nike shoes on the virtual platform. So what we are seeing is that Nike has managed to find a minor support at 166 and moving back towards its resistance at 179. So watch out for this counter. So once it start to pull support to support, then we are looking at a very fantastic opportunity to enter into the stocks. And of course, all these counters I have been following up closely in my own channel group as well. So for those who are looking at to invest, of course, you can watch this counter and then continue to use technical analysis to time your entry into this counter. Okay, so with this, thank you for viewing. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.